Welcome to Spoke and Spanner. If you've ever seen a classic motorcycle abandoned or forgotten in a collection and wondered what it would take to get it back up and running and riding on the road once again, well, you've come to the right place. As well as modern bike maintenance, I plan to look for those forgotten motorcycles and get them up and running and back on the road riding again. To start with, I bid on this classic BMW R80, unseen at Bonham's Stafford auction. It's been sitting unused in a private collection or maybe someone's garage since 1990. That's over 30 years ago, and I'm going to see what it takes and how much it costs to get it back up and running again. The BMW R87, introduced in September 1978 as part of the revamp of the BMW 6 series, was described at the time by Julian Ryder of Practical Classics as probably the best boxer ever made, being the last before BMW lightened the flywheel and made the bikes less torquey and more rev happy. Over the 3 years it was available, BMW sold around 3,500 units. The engine was basically from the R75 bored out to 797.5 cc's. The air-cooled engine pushed out 55 horsepower and 42 pounds-foot of torque. Although the bike developed 15 horsepower less than the R100, it only gave away 10 pounds-foot of torque and weighed 40 pounds less, giving the bike that classic virtue of the big twin, lots of torque for its size. The seat height was reasonably tall, 31.9 inches, and the wet weight 473 pounds. Retaining the 24-litre 6.3 gallon tank and with 50 miles per gallon easily attainable, gave the bike a decent touring range of over 300 miles, and it was capable of 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds and would go on to a top speed of 115 miles per hour. Our particular bike was supplied by Glenfield Boldet Limited of Northampton on the 16th of July 1979 for the princely sum of £2,414.97. Andre Boldet, who set up Motor Boldet, was best known for his exploits to promote Vespa scooters, competing in scooter events like the Isle of Man Scooter Week and Scooter Scotland, also creating his own scooter endurance events here and abroad. Whilst getting great press coverage, it didn't necessarily result in dealership sales, and so he turned to dealer specials like this Archon CL model. French for rainbow, these specials mostly had a unique paint scheme and various accessories and upgrades, depending upon his customer's budget. Motor Boldet also sold other motorcycles like our BMW, as well as being a successful Lotus Cars dealer. I'm Pete. Say hi to my assistant Sally. This is Spoke and Spanner, and here's how it started.
Lot number 217. 217, quite a lot of interest in this since we published the catalogue. This, the BMW, we've got the R80 with the 1979 year, there it is, showing on the screens with our offers, well, several bids. Got us started at 1,600, then 1,700 already. 1,700 absentee bids already. 1,700 for the BMW, 1,800 online. 1,800 online. Any further bids at 1,800? Online bid has it. The room's quiet though. Sell now at 1,800. Any more? Any further bids at 1,800? No more? 19. Still the online bids, 2 or 3 of them out there I can see. Selling at 1,900, fair warning, the hammer's up. Last chance everywhere else. At 19. 6285, thank you.
So first look at the BMW R80. Actually, it's surprisingly good, isn't it? Because it's been in someone's collection and just not used, I think, but it's been quite dry stored because it doesn't look to be much. So I'm just having another look round with you on this BMW R80/7. So we bought this sight unseen from the Bonham's auction at Stafford. bit of trepidation with its arrival today, and look what we got. Very authentic, original paintwork. The front brakes are seized up. They do absolutely nothing at all. I'll do a bit of a close-up for you. So here it is, lot 217 from the spring Stafford sale. Hardly any corrosion on the forks. A little bit of spotting that'll clean up with some Solvol. Generally needs a good clean, but the brake discs look virtually brand new. But the bike has only done 7,000 miles from new, and it's got the original Metzler ME33 tyre. You can see by the amount of tread on that. And surprisingly, can't see any cracking. And they'll probably be needing replacing because they'll have gone hard. Just coming up to the headlight. No brakes at all, you can't even pull that lever back. Dials are all absolutely immaculate once it's cleaned up. And the tank paintwork is also immaculate. The engine just needs a good clean back. Original Bing carbs. It wheels fine, don't know whether the clutch works all right yet until you actually get it going. Even the shocks don't seem to have any corrosion on them. And apart from discoloration of the BMW badges, it is completely authentic. We'll have a look at in a minute in the paperwork, which seems to be quite a file with it. But otherwise, really nice piece of kit. The venerable BMW R87, described by Practical Classics at the time as probably the best boxer ever made. There's certainly some features I'd like to share with you that I'm really impressed with on this bike now that the first excitement of the arrival from the auction is over. The bike has a number of later components. The forks are still the Silka style, but they have, instead of a gaiter, a rubber cover. The bike's also got the dashboard protector, larger tank, and what I really like is the seat that's straight off the R90/7 with this back and the rather useful rack at the back. So what have we found out so far? Well, the tank was dry with only a small amount of stale fuel in the bottom. Original factory coating in there, no rust at all. Fantastic result. Front brakes don't work at all. Now on this model, the brake master cylinder's underneath the tank, and the front brakes are activated by a cable that goes from the lever down to the master cylinder. And I rather suspect that most of the problem is to do with that cable linkage, because the brakes are not binding onto the disc, although no doubt the seals and everything else is going to need doing. So just rocking the bike back and forwards, it's clear that the engine is completely free moving. We just need to drop that oil out and fill it up with some fresh 2050. And having charged the battery, there's a good chance it might just start after 30 years. And to test how far that accolade from Practical Classics has travelled, once we complete the bike, we're going to pitch it against my 2018 R1200R LC. It's not the latest model, but it does have the liquid cooling. I test drove the 1250 the other day, and boy does that have some get up and go, but very smooth. It starts to just verge on that point of saying, well, is the character still there? But certainly another great boxer from BMW, and we'll see how they fare. Okay, so here we go with the first thorough wash of the bike. The snow foam's going on at the moment. One of the foibles of the BMW Airheads is that the instruments have a glass lens in a plastic bezel that is bonded to the instrument casing, and they tend to fracture and allow moisture in. Here I was just drying it out with some low pressure warm air. Later on I'm going to have to rebond those bezels to the casing with some 2-part epoxy and potentially a smear of silicone, clear silicone, before putting the rubber shroud covers back on. Next time, join me to see what happens when I try to start her for the first time and explore the fire triangle with hair-raising consequences upon ignition. But wait, here comes Sally. If you enjoyed this video and want to see the next episode, please like and subscribe below. Catch you next time.